I'm gonna make cookies today. My friend was kind enough to let me borrow their mic, and although it is a bit louder, I was able to adjust it, I think, to be a little bit not as loud. So I am going to make cookies. Okay, I'm on camera now. I ate a chocolate chip. So the event that I worked with, ISSMA, and leaning down, this is really funny. And for those unfamiliar, it is the Indiana Music Awards for people in high school. And I did ISSMA for choir. Beyond that, there was a year or two, a couple years, where you could volunteer to help like people at the door, basically crowd control. As a high schooler, you could help out and volunteer, and you would get a credit towards your thespian thing, which I did get my thespian thing. I know, thespian award. I did end up getting it, and I remember going to ISSMA, but the one that I watched was the one for marching band, which I never did that one, but it was really neat to see. I only took 3 photos because they are high schoolers, and it's pretty much prohibited to take a lot of videos and photos, mostly for resale. So I was able to be inside of the stadium and watch all of the performances, and that was like the coolest part. I loved watching people. It's always usually a fun thing to do, especially at events. I worked the evening, so I saw the very end of Group B, and then I saw the entirety of Group C and Group A. And I think Group A is the most difficult group, and then it goes down from there. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up, but I'm making cookies right now, so I can't really, I cannot provide that information at the time. Perfect. But it was really cool to see. And anytime I do an event like this where it is artistically led, it's really hard for me to like not get emotional, and I find myself being like, don't cry, because if you know anything about marching band, you know it's a very theatrical performance that they put on, and a lot of time and work and dedication happen to make it work, and it's overall just a really great creative endeavor, because not only do you have the people who had to compose the music, oftentimes it's a mashup of sorts, and I believe that they're usually about 15 minutes long for the halftime show. So not only do you have the people who compose the music, but then you have the teachers that teach all of the different areas, the band teachers, the color guard teachers, and then of course the students who are so artistically led and excited to be there, and then the parents who do a lot of the funding. And then it was sponsored by Pages Music. And it's just, there's a lot of people that came together to put together money to just, you know, really make this happen every year. And it's been a thing since I was in high school, and I think they said it's been a thing since 1973. So that's pretty cool, and it was pretty cool to see. At one point, when one band came out, this guy screamed. Like, he was screaming, and the funny part is that he sounded like a middle-aged woman. Like, he was a teenager. And then they were like looking at him like he was all cringe, but I was like, shoot, dude, you do your thing, man. You root for your people. And it might sound lame, but I do feel like, let me get down here. Let me get down on your level. I really do feel like art is just the rawest form of human nature, and music even more so. My hair looks so bad, I'm so sorry. I know it don't matter, but whatever. I'm a mess. I really do feel like music is the easiest way to connect people, to really get that spark, because I think any artist will say that they often listen to music or watch media while making art, and I just love how inspiration can really breed creativity. And I really think it's been deprived from us, probably on purpose, just because creating and being the most pure forms of ourselves is one of the most enlightening things that we can do for ourselves. I keep trying to make eye contact with the microphone like it's talking to me. So, I don't know. I'm a slut for art. I like seeing it. I love seeing it. I love encouraging people to do it. There's just a lot of discoveries that can be made just from doing creative stuff. So ISSMA was fun. I was just staff. I didn't do much. I just made sure that the aisles were clear, the walkways were clear, answered any questions I did happen to get, which were not a lot, and I did not have the answers because I do temporary shifts and I just kind of pick up here and there stuff where people need. I've really come to like event work. There's no long-term commitment, and usually the type of people that you deal with are in good spirits, because if somebody is coming for an event, they're usually looking forward to it and they want to have a good time. So I can accommodate a good mood very well. Just when people get shitty, man, people trying to order their fast food and they want to get mad at me for something stupid. Whatever. It is what it is. So we added the sugar, sugar, and then we added the brown sugar, and then we had a little bit more, and then we had 2 sticks of softened butter and that vanilla just now, and then my last 2 eggs, one of which is a different color. Strange because they're both white eggs. And then I stir it up. The one performance that really stood out, I mean, they were the winners for Class A, which, like I said, I'm pretty positive. Man, I wish I could like put this. One of them really stood out to me. It was because instead of having like color coordinated costumes like everybody, I mean, they did. They were coordinated costumes. They were all wearing similar costumes. But instead of it, you know, being normal costumes, they had shapes on them. And when I saw it, I was like, it's so jarring, but as long as they do the routine well, it's going to look really good. And it did. It looked really good. They did the routine well. They were working with like primary colors and squares. And the fact that they took the chance of not being like aesthetically pretty or whatever to make something really neat and like mind-boggling was really cool to see. At the end, when all of the teams gathered up, they did like this wave thing. I wish I could have gotten it on camera. They only did it one time, where they like did the wave, but because they were the shapes, it looked really weird and mind-bending and cool. And I was front and center, but you know, like a couple stories up. I think I was on the 2nd or 3rd story. So I had a really good view of it, and I kept thinking about how they looked like toys, how it looked like I was watching a cartoon. But it was really cool. I didn't really get much into the whole marching band thing. I wanted to play piano, frankly, and I was told that there was no piano in band. So I said, screw you, I want to keep doing choir. That was my reason. I did band for like a few months, but then I was like, nah. Because originally I wanted to do violin, or technically viola, and then later on cello. But strings are hard. Piano was always very easy for me because it's very linear. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it's all in a row. It's really hard to mess that up. But then something like guitar, violin, shoot, even stuff like clarinet. There's just so many different combinations to make these notes, and I'm just like, bro, I just want to do the next one and have the right note. Sorry, I had to change my shirt. I'm starting to look a little crazy, actually. A little really crazy. But it's so hot in here. Alright, so these next few ingredients, you're supposed to put in a bowl and then slowly add, but I do it a little reckless. So the baking powder is going to be half of a teaspoon. And then you're supposed to do like a teaspoon of salt, but I don't like to put a lot of salt in my cookies. And then a full teaspoon of baking soda. Like I said, you're supposed to put this in a bowl together with flour and then slowly add it. But I don't like to use a lot of bowls if I can help it, because it's already a lot to clean up after I make cookies. So from here, all that I need are 3 cups of flour. There's a lot that could be said about the bands themselves, but the one thing that really stood out to me was throughout the entire day, I had been thinking about how it would be so nice if these recordings that they had of singing and vocalization were actually people. Because I know how many choir kids are in this state. There's a lot of choir kids in this state, okay? And I know in any of those schools, they could have found a phenomenal singer to help them. Well, the one that finally brought out a singer was phenomenal. It was the team that had the racing theme, which is appropriate for Indiana. That's kind of like our thing. It's what we're known for, I guess. But the way she sang was so good. It was like in that, I want to say 50s, that 40s, 50s fake made up dialect that they had. But it sounded really good. And I did go to high school with quite a few people that could sing like that. So it's not like it's a super rare thing to come across. But it does take talent, and it does sound really phenomenal whenever it's done well and it's been practiced. And she sounded great. It was really good to hear a real singer in the marching band ISSMA, because there just pretty much is no singing. It's band. That's why I didn't do band, is because I wanted to do choir. I think I already said that, though. And then the second singer that they had did He's Going the Distance. He's Going for Speed. I'm pretty sure that's the song. Either I'm getting it mixed up because I like that song, or that was the actual song. I'm pretty sure it was a song by Cake. But it was just cool to see singers. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's 3 cups of flour. Jesus Christ. After that, you just add the chocolate chips. And it's good to go in the oven. Whenever I'm done, I put my cookies into a Tupperware container, and then I put it in the fridge. I usually let it chill overnight, but I usually make a first batch like this to see what they look like. A couple days after making this video, I had the idea to get some ice cream and make little ice cream sandwiches. This part's optional, but you can rub your cookies. It was far better than it should have been. Terribly unhealthy. Do not recommend on a regular basis. 'Tis the season for good food, and then you just put it together. So thank you for watching this video. I know the vlogs are vlogs and not the most interesting in the world, but I do appreciate you sitting here and watching me and listening to me talk and watching me make unhealthy snacks for the winter time. And I do hope to see you in the next one. I have a couple of big videos coming out soon, so I hope you all like them. Have a wonderful evening.